Welcome once again on Regional Radio Sports. I'm Paul Condry. I'm the publisher and the founder of the Indiana Football Digest and the president of Regional Radio Sports. But I'm not talking football today. I'm talking football today with my favorite soccer coach of all time, Thiago Pinto, the head coach here at Bethel University. TP, I tell you what, let me start from the get-go. I've had a chance over the course of my quarter century here to be able to watch some men and women make the impact for the kingdom of God, take it to a whole nother level, as well as have had athletic and their team's academic success. And the most important aspect of it has been the spiritual development that I've seen from coaches during the time that I've spent the last quarter century patrolling the sidelines and courts and whatnot here. And no one has done a greater job geographically of expanding the vision and the missionary mantra of Bethel University than you. So kudos to you. Also, you had something to add to the resume last year. The NAIA Men's National Championship in men's soccer. What an amazing thing. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah. Very humbled, first by, appreciate the words, your kind words, and very humbled by it, so just, it's, God is good, giving us the health, the grace. We have to make the right choices. We have to pursue Him, but it's been a very rewarding journey. I wouldn't trade the journey that I've been on, for anything, any financial gain or other career. There's nothing like fulfilling the purpose that God has called you to do, and for me, it's been, impact through football. It's not, soccer is not the end goal, but it's a means to an end, and it is great to win, and it's a magical experience, last season with the winning the national championship, but nothing compares to to equipping these guys and seeing these guys become world changers.
I had a conversation with the legendary Joe Paterno, the football coach at Penn State, about 20 years ago at the Big Ten football meetings. I remember literally sitting next to him, and I asked him the question about how he defines success. And his success, I said, did you consider that the amount of bowl appearances, the amount of wins? He says, absolutely none of that is even in the picture. What I need to know is 20 years from now, are my former athletes and coaches, are they going to be great fathers? Are they going to be great men? Are they going to be leaders? Are they going to be those kind of people? And I would want to throw that same question to you. You've had a tremendous amount of success, 193 wins in 16 seasons. You look at all your coach of the year in the conference, coach of the year nationally. So many things that we can put up on the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can't really put a picture on it but now you're at the point now where you can go back and your boys from that first team, probably now having their own families. They've got kids of their own. They're men. They're out there in the real world. And I know that you hear those conversations back and forth with those guys. What's it like to hear some of those success stories of your former players that will always be your boys?
Yeah, it's that's the greatest reward, I would say. Some of them are helping with our team even now the last few years. They've been key to what we do, giving back, and they love, just the transformation they've had. They love to kind of be the ones now facilitating that, creating an environment where that can take place for a new generation. We have two guys, Romulo Nóbrega, Eduardo Ferreira, who are volunteers, successful in what they do in the business world, wonderful fathers and husbands, and there are many like them as well that stay connected to the program. We have a phenomenal alumni of many guys working in different industries, and we're starting to see a great connection that we've built over the last 10 plus years of guys that, staying connected in so many ways, whether it's financially, some guys are here day to day, or, just some guys follow us from afar. But the biggest thing is not just the leaders they become, but what type of leaders they become. They're not just, you can be successful in the world and gain riches or, be accomplished, but how do you become a Joshua type of leader who can take a group of people to places they haven't been. So that's a real joy.
Talk about the landscape of men's soccer in the United States of America. Is it going in the right direction? And I know the reason I bring this up because you're actively involved, not only you here, but Omar Gallo. You're working, doing some local stuff here, and so you guys are not just staying in your own little comfort zone. You guys are continuing to spread that love out there. But how would you say, are we trending in a positive direction, or are we making some strides? Let's talk about it internationally.
Wouldn't say strides. I would say there's a big leap coming.
Okay.
And it's starting now, a second wave. All you have to do is just stand back and watch. The effects of Messi in Major League Soccer it's astonishing. It's amazing. And just study a little bit of the history of MLS and the game here. MLS started in 1996. The World Cup last time the World Cup was here was 1994. And the first stadium, soccer-specific stadium built, the Columbus Crew, was in 1996. First MLS team franchise. And now we're in a new generation. Look at the new franchises and levels of ownership, but how things are done, our community, I mean, the attendance. So it's and it is trending up in every way. The quality of the senior team, a young generation coming through. So it's exciting to see that growth and be a part of it. So Messi's coming this year, and then every year in the next 4 years, you see major events coming to the U.S. Copa America next year. There's a league cup going on right now, which one of our alums is the one behind operating this league, which is you have 47 teams between the first division teams in Mexico and all MLS teams taking place in a cup competition.
When you look at the big picture of the NAIA and compared to the NCAA, and if we look at NCAA success, and you can just drive down 31 to Bloomington, Indiana, and you talk about what Jerry Yeagley started there many years ago, and it continues. His son continues to do things right, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so here we have an NCAA power here in our state. We have an NAIA power in our state, and some pretty other good teams too, as well. So soccer has been pretty good to the state of Indiana. Do you see that trend continuing to move upward?
I think so. I think there's some great momentum with even the pre-professional, the semi-pro that we've had the chance to work with recently in the last few summers. You see that in Fort Wayne. DeMarcus Beasley, who's has been a legend for the U.S. soccer journey. He's 4 World Cups, and there's a Fort Wayne FC is a good sign of that in Fort Wayne. We're starting to see that here in South Bend, and so Indy 11 with their project, it's going to go next level. It's $1 billion project that impacts community. It's an MLS level type of infrastructure, and so yes, for sure, there's great things happening in Indiana.
Once again, Thiago Pinto, our special guest here from Bethel University. I want you to take me back as you went on that journey to win the national championship. And I don't know if you froze a moment in time where you thought about it, or it had to be a week or two, a month afterwards, when you thought about the journey and the accomplishments, or your athletes, and so many people played in such a pivotal role. Every guy here from the National Player of the Year and Tim Noding to some of the other guys on this group. But as you reflect back on it just a few months after the fact, what thing stands out in your mind that was wow for you? What was the wow moment for you?
I would say there are a few.
Sure.
But just kind of we mentioned before, we have some coaches that are here as volunteers, and how much they pour into our team day to day. It's a wow. And they continue to do that, so some of them have kids, they have their own business, their families, but they love it. And that makes it a huge difference. And the other side of that is, just seeing the guys kind of take ownership and really embody a lot of the things we stand for, and having the being able to lead the group. They're leaders who follow. They know how to follow, but they also the rest of the team follows them, and you have to have that aspect of to have a great environment. You have to have a lot of routines that are player led.
There's a dynamic that's going to be maybe a little new for you this year, because now you are the hunted. Yeah. You are the standard bearer. And you have everybody, when the Crossroads League schedules came out, or the schedules came out, everybody, they circled this date, Bethel Pilots. You know that every time that you lace them up, you're going to get it's everybody's Super Bowl. Yeah. Put that in American football terms. You are the marked man as a coach. They're going to want to pick your brain. They're going to want you to come to every clinic and talk. They're going to want you to – I can't even imagine some of the dynamics and how it stretched you as a coach, but also for your players. And the second part of that is your players are going to get beat up. They're going to say, hey, if we take Tim out, we got a great chance to do that. And there are going to be some teams that, quite frankly, are going to just play out and outright dirty. And you've got to be able to react through that. So have you given any thought to being hungry enough to still be a hunter versus being, we're just going to kind of dodge the hunting that's coming after you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I back in January, I had a conversation with the Stanford coach, who was one of the very few coaches who won 3 titles in a row. And he recommended a book. It's called Hunger in Paradise. And it's been something I've kind of been reading and kind of dwelling on and learning from. We have to work harder. We have to be humble and respect our opponents even more than ever. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that we don't change. We do the habits that helped us be successful. We'll do those, but we also have to go to the next level. We have to evolve, and we have to improve the process. And we have to challenge these guys in a lot of different ways to be able to kind of have a mature perception that the NAIA National Championship is nothing but a small mountain or a small hill. It's a new year, and we've got a much bigger mountain to climb.
Okay, let's talk about the pieces that are going to help you climb the mountain again. Let's start with our senior class and work our way on down. You've got the floor here. Just tell us about your roster. I'm not sure if you got that solidified yet to the point where you know who's going to play here or who's going to play there. But I know one guy you can start with is the NAIA National Player of the Year. Tim Nodig's coming back, a kid from Germany. And that brings up another potential conversation piece, is how you've been able to recruit globally. This has not been, hey, we're just going to recruit Michiana. You may be able to recruit Michiana if you're the men's basketball team, because basketball, of course, is a unique dynamic in its own self, but that's not the case for you. You guys have gone all ends of the globe to recruit. So tell me about your roster.
Yeah, I think we have a exciting group returning. We lost a good core in the back line, starting with our goalkeeper and our defensive unit, so to speak. We bring our midfield and our offensive lineup, we have those guys back, and we added some there as well. They're pretty exciting. We feel confident with the team we have, and we're just going to have to really adapt, with the guys that are going to step up in the back. Some guys are, freshmen. We have others who are transfers. So it's how quickly can we get them up to speed with how we play and get the relationships right, the dynamics right. But we have great leaders, and I think, what excites me about the team, and it's the guys who are coming back who's their second cycle. You mentioned Tim, but we have, we're going to hear from Piero and De La Torre, and we have other guys who, Jeffter, who've been here more than once, and I think they're in a position now where they understand the long haul, the journey of the season, and what we go through, the ups and downs, and be able to help the rest of the team be ready to perform, be at their best.
I'll give you an open-ended question to kind of wrap this up. The Pilots are going to repeat as NAIA champions if they do this. Fill in the blank.
Win the next game, right? I think
that's a great recipe, right? Just win. Yeah. We win every night out, right?
Yeah. Make sure we, every game we're ready to win. It's not a loss. If we ended up losing, it's because someone else has won, not because we lost. So I think that if we perform to the best we can, there's so many things that, it's a compounding, factors of, I think that if we have the leaders of our team this year, I think can really be key. I think in helping us learn through every game. And that's the key. We learned through a lot of wins last year on a winning streak that, honestly I didn't keep track for a long time. But I think if we can continue to stay focused, stay humble, pay attention to the process, and make sure that those guys, kind of buy into it, and I think we have a group that I think believe we can do it.
Once again, Thiago Pinto, our very special guest here from Bethel University, NAIA men's national champions last season. Can the Pilots repeat? Make sure you leave it here on Regional Radio Sports, and we'll get you every step of the way. Once again, I'm Paul County for Coach TP. Thanks for joining us here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.